it takes everything. Like everything. You cannot afford to have negativity. You cannot afford to have people in your life, no matter who they are, no matter what their last name is, telling you that you can't or you shouldn't or you won't. People got to be behind you or you got to be alone. It's too hard. Winning is not normal. It's not this normal thing. It's extraordinary. It's out of the ordinary. And there's been this like watering down of what it actually takes to win by culture and society, and you know, with this balanced shit. You can't do it all, man. You can't do it all. If you're going to have this overly balanced day-to-day life, the amount of money you earn is probably going to be a lot less, and that's okay. But you need to understand that. What is up, guys? It's Andy Frisella, and this is the show for the realists. Say goodbye to the lies, the fakeness, and delusions of modern society, and welcome to reality. Guys, today we have Q&AF. That's where you submit the questions and we give you the answers. Now, you can submit your questions to be answered on the show a few different ways. DJ is going to tell you all about it.
Yeah, guys. First way is you can email your questions in to askandy@andyfrisella.com. You can also submit your questions in the YouTube comments on the Q&AF episodes. You can also click the link in the description below and submit your questions for a chance to be on the call-in episodes. Yes.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
So don't forget to participate in the Q&AF. Free game. Other times throughout the week, we're going to have CTI. That's what's coming up tomorrow. Cruise the Internet. That's where we put topics on the screen. We speculate on what's actually going on. And then we make fun of everybody. And then we talk about how we, the people, have to be the solution to the problems going on in the world. Then we have Real Talk. Real Talk's just 20 minutes of me giving you some real talk. And then we have what's called 75 Hard Verses. 75 Hard Verses, where someone who's completed the 75 Hard program comes on the show, talks about how their life was before, how their life is now, and how they used the 75 Hard program to recalibrate their mindset and develop the mental toughness needed to win. If you're unfamiliar with 75 Hard, it is the initial phase of the Live Hard program, the world's most popular mental transformation program ever. All right, and you get it for free at episode 208. It's on the audio feed only. It's not on YouTube. We weren't on YouTube. 208 on the audio feed. And then you could buy the book. The book is called The Book on Mental Toughness. That's it right there. It's not free, but it does go through the entire Live Hard program and a whole bunch of other chapters on mental toughness, why it's important, how to develop it, how to use it to become the ultimate version of you. And you can get that at andyfrisella.com. And then we have a fee. Fee is very simple. Help us grow the show by sharing it. All right? So don't be a hoe.
Share the show.
All right.
What's going on, man?
Nothing, dude.
Yeah.
What's up with you?
Oh, just another beautiful day. Getting lots of great deep sleep.
Are you? You look like you're still asleep.
Bro, I'm right now.
Why? Were you up all night with the kid?
Bro.
Was she screaming and shit?
Bro, there's just something that happens between like 3 a.m. and 7 a.m.
What's that?
She doesn't sleep. I don't know what it is. She's just
were all of them like that?
Screaming that. Addison was a little bit. It was giving Addison vibes for sure. Like Addison didn't sleep.
She was hard, wasn't she?
Bro, Addison did not sleep through the night until she was like 9 months old.
Yeah, I remember that. Oh, that was hard.
Yeah. I'm just getting those vibes very early right now.
Yeah, that sucks.
Yeah, but no, man, it's good. It's good. We're here.
Yeah,
I'll make it work.
Yeah.
Let's start off with a call. Let's get Rubio on the phone. Get Rubio.
Hello?
Rubio, what's up, man?
What's going on? Is this DJ?
This is DJ. No, this is your conscience.
Oh, okay.
What's going on, man?
Nothing much. Is the big man there too?
No, it was just me calling you.
Yeah,
actually.
DJ's calling to just see if you want to get something to eat, bro.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. What's up, brother? How are you?
I'm good. How are you gentlemen doing?
We're doing good, man. Just sitting in here talking about how we're going to actually help people.
That's right.
So what's going on with you? Where you at?
Right on. I'm calling in from California, unfortunately.
Okay. We're at in California.
Fillmore, it's a small town, Ventura County area.
I don't know where that is.
Yeah, where is that? North or like northern Cali?
It's SoCal area,
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
little ways from Los Angeles.
There you go.
Well, that's good.
Good weather. Well, what can we help you with, brother? What you got going on?
So I've got a little bit of a dilemma.
Mm-hmm.
So just to give background to the story, as of right now, I'm telling you, I'm 19 years of age, going on a 20 here, and I decided from a young age that I didn't want my life to be ordinary. Started listening to the show probably like 17, super motivated. All of my buddies on it. Some of them kind of listened to it, some of them didn't. Got my father into it, and what ended up happening was I decided up and join the military. And I stand now as a United States Marine. And I decided I liked my job at the time. I was working as a shop hand. I've always liked dirty work. Always liked getting my hands dirty. I've always wanted to build myself to be a better man and be an example for when I do eventually have a son. And I was sitting there at work one day, and I knew that I had to go find out if I could make it through boot camp. But I knew that financially I wanted something bigger for myself, so I didn't sign active duty. I went at reserve so I could come back and ultimately make more money here. And that's what I did. And I noticed as the years went on, when I started making more money, that my parents started treating me a little bit differently. So just to give reference, beforehand, obviously I wasn't paying rent. I wasn't really doing much because of the young age. And up when I hit 18, that's when they kind of started charging me rent. Me and my sister both were paying right around $200. Nothing crazy. Hit 19, and that's right when my rent went up. And my sister, being that she got herself in debt at a young age, they cut her completely off, stopped her from paying rent, and they charged me more, which I thought was a little strange, but I kind of said whatever to it. And my father has always been good with finances, been good at making money. Up until recently, he started focusing more on spending money than keeping it. And he makes good money. The only issue is that he spends more than he makes. And he's got himself into some debt. And he's talked about me taking over his payments. He got a motorcycle he really likes. I like motorcycles, but I personally don't buy anything that I can't afford. So I have no debt. And I plan on keeping it that way. The only issue is when he gets injured, he usually looks at me for money. And recently, he borrowed a decent amount of money from me, around $3,000, which he ended up paying me back eventually, slowly. But my biggest issue is right now, as I said, he's pretty motivated. I think he's kind of just on the addiction of motivation rather than action, because he's right around 320 pounds ish, 5'7", 39 years old, and I think he can still get out of his situation. The only issue is that he has a hard time listening to people, and I want to sit down and have a conversation with him appropriately without him getting upset with me or emotional, because he seems to get that way, or without even bringing up kicking me out, because, like I said, for his age and that weight, I don't imagine he'll make it much longer. And he's been super motivated by you, Andy, with your story being your weight. The only issue is, like I said, he doesn't really listen to people. He has a hard time understanding things. Not so much because he doesn't understand that it's an issue, but because he's always been it's not that easy kind of person. Which, I mean, I've tried to convince him otherwise, but by the looks of it, in the long run, he gets injured, I'm going to be taking on a lot of his debt, which I don't want to, and it's going to fall on me. Ultimately, the house, I've recently found out, same thing, my mother has a decent amount of debt, and she's kind of turned to me for money, which, of course, I don't want to say no to her, but I found out she was slowly taking money from me through my bank account, which I had to have a conversation with her about, and she tried kind of hiding it from me. And I want to know how I can approach him with this situation in an appropriate manner, because I do care about him, and I want him to be here in the long run for when I build my future. But I also don't want his decisions now to not allow me to start my future, because he's going to take that from me ultimately with his debt. And like I said, I just want to make sure he's around and for the rate he's going at now, the doctors are telling him he's not gonna live much longer.
Well, I mean, he's 5'7". What'd you say, 320?
Yes, sir.
And he's
320.
he's 37?
39.
39?
39.
You're absolutely correct. He's not going to be around very much longer if he doesn't take care of that. That's the truth. You don't see old, obese people like that. You don't see that. Typically, you know, these people die before they get old. And yeah, that's just part of the equation. Let me ask you this. What's your outcome? What's your ideal outcome of that conversation?
My ideal outcome is that he starts putting in the work with me again. I mean, when he was 270 not too long ago, he was going to the gym with me. I would go help him out at work because, I mean, ultimately I wanted to start working with him. So I got all my certifications. I got my Class A license, my CDO, and I wanted to work with him. The only issue is nobody wants to hire me because I'm young, but that's not important with the conversation. And we were going to the gym. Everything was going good, and he was motivated. He's like, "You're going to come work with me," all this stuff. And then he up and got injured and saw that as a permanent roadblock. And like I said, ended up putting on another 50 pounds.
Okay. And let me ask you this, a couple things here. What kind of work are you guys doing?
So he's a crane operator.
Okay.
So he kind of just sits in the crane, does his thing. But when I go help him, we're actually walking around, running around. We're greasing the cranes. I like going to help him grease them. So I get up under there and
it's a
climb up on
whole
the crane.
job.
And we were doing this to about 8 different cranes just because I want to get into the field of work. And then when we're working out, I mean, I take him to the gym with me and I run him through my programs. I tried running him through the 75 hard, which, I mean, he made it like halfway, and then he saw a cupcake, and that was it.
And what do you want to do for yourself long term?
For myself, long term, I ultimately want to build something. I don't really care so much about the financial portion. I only care about money because everything in the world costs money, and I understand that you need it to an extent. But I want to be able to build something that I can look at and be proud of, and something that overall helps people. I'm not exactly sure what that is yet, being that I am still young.
Yeah, you don't have to have an
I have a
answer
couple
right
of
now.
ideas.
Yeah, I was just curious.
Appreciate that.
Yeah, brother. All right, look, man. There's a lot here. Let me start with the conversation that has to happen with let me start with this, okay? Your parents shouldn't be taking money from you. They shouldn't be taking money from your account. They shouldn't be making you feel guilty for not wanting to give them money. That's not okay, all right? And you have to draw a boundary there, and it has to be real. And sometimes parents don't really understand that. I don't know what that is. I don't know why that is. But sometimes, and I've talked to a lot of people, parents have like this weird entitlement to their children's success. I was actually talking to a very well-known, everybody knows him, entrepreneur that I'm friends with about this exact issue yesterday, about how this person's parents felt entitled to the same thing. And no matter what they did, it was never enough. And the answer was always, well, you know, that's nothing for you. That's not the point. Okay? Like,
Right.
the point is, I work my ass off for that. And just because, you know, you think that I've got all this shit coming out of my ears or whatever, it doesn't matter. It's not yours. You didn't earn it. And
That's a hard convo to have. Yeah.
well, you've had to have it.
Yeah, I had to have it.
Yeah, I mean, listen, dude. It's unfortunately some people only get it when you're a fucking mean as fuck to them about it, and then they'll finally stop. But yeah, dude, it's reality, man. And I don't know why parents feel that way. I don't know. I really don't. I don't know. But that's neither here nor there. It's just reality. And it seems like you've got a couple parents that think that way. And that has to be a real conversation of adults. Hey, I'm an adult. You're charging me rent. I am happily paying it. That's the transaction. You're not entitled. You're not entitled to anything else. You're not entitled to more of that. You can't just take my money. Yes, we're family, and I would gladly help you, but I'm not an endless stream of financial resources. And that boundary needs to be set now, brother, because the older you get, then the more money you make, the worse that will get. So that's a conversation in itself that needs to be, and I understand, dude, like you love your parents, but that boundary has to be set and it has to be firm. Now let's get on to the conversation with your dad. That conversation should probably start just like any other meeting that you would have. I would ask him to sit down and meet with you, not just try to catch him in the middle of his day, not just try to talk to him at dinner, but I would ask him, I would say, hey, Dad, can you meet me here at Starbucks at noon or whatever? I got something I really want to talk to you about. Something that sets the expectation that this is not a normal conversation, all right? The reason that's important is because you want them thinking ahead of time, I wonder what this is about. This must be serious. And what will probably happen is they will say, well, just tell me now. Just tell me now. And you should say, no, I want to sit down and have a talk about it. It's very important to me. And do not give in when they try to get you to say what it is right now, because you want him to think about it until that time comes. He's probably going to listen to the show and know this. But at the end of the day, dude, you sit down with them and you say, hey, Dad, look, my outcome for this meeting, and then you state your outcome. My outcome is I'm young. I'm 19 years old. I'm going to grow up one day. I'm going to be successful. I'm going to have a family. And I would like you to be around for that. And right now, this is the real truth. You're not going to be. And you know you're not going to be. I know you're not going to be. And the data says you're not going to be. And I love you, man. Like you're my whole life. And I can't imagine you not being around when I get married or have kids, because food and drink had some sort of control over you. And it's frustrating for me that you won't take it serious enough to handle your business. That makes me wonder how much you actually care about what I've got going on, or even me. And I think that's a real conversation, because, dude, I don't think he's thinking about that. I don't think he's thinking like, because we all, by human nature, think, oh, it'll never happen to us. It'll never happen to us. It'll never happen to us, until it does. And I know from being very overweight and struggling with that my whole life, that's the story I would tell myself. I would tell myself, it's not as bad as I think it is. Other people are like this. It's normal. It's not that bad. And I would tell myself all this shit. And until I found a bigger purpose that was outside of myself, it was very hard for me to take serious. And I would sit down, I would have that conversation with them, very frankly, however it is that you would like to deliver that message. And at the end of the thing, I would say, Dad, I would really appreciate if you did this for me. And if you can't do it for you, I would like you to do it for me and my future kids, because I want you around. And I would have that conversation, make that known. And then I would also, and this is an important thing, dude, I would also be prepared for him to continue down the path that he's going to go down. Because here's the thing. We can't force people to lose weight. We can't force people to take their shit serious. We can't force people to want to be financially successful. We can't force people to want to be more than they are. But what we can do is point out the reality of what they are, because most people do not see themselves accurately for what they really are. They look in the mirror. They don't like what they see. They look at their bank account. They don't like what they see. They look at their family. They don't like what they see. And then they tell themselves a shit ton of stories about why it is that way that let them off the hook for having to deal with the actual problem. So there's a good chance, no matter what you say or what you do, that he will remain the same. If
Right.
if I would like to think that if I had a son and he said that to me, that would disturb me enough to take action. But we just don't know. And that's how I would handle it, dude. And the last thing I would say to you is this. You got to run your own race, bro. And we love our parents. You know, I get this question a lot. A lot of parents, and I'm not saying this about yours, I'm just saying this for everybody else that's listening. A lot of parents don't support their children. A lot of parents get jealous when their children start to become more successful. A lot of parents have to be cut the out of your life when you come from, you know, very meager means and your ambition is so big. It's weight that is hard to carry. It's not something that you can actually do, because to get to that point of where you want to go requires all of your effort, all of your energy, all of your focus, and you can't spend it dealing with people who are creating doubt, who are pulling you back, who are asking you for things that aren't theirs, who are like, you just can't make time for wasted energy. And the truth of the matter is people are either contributing or pulling away. And to get where you're wanting to go, you know, to be successful, sometimes it takes pulling away from every single thing that distracts you and doesn't contribute. And people hate that answer. They're like, oh, well, that's not healthy. Well, bro, you told me what you wanted. I'm telling you what it takes to get. It's just reality. And if you want to have relationships with negative people just because you're related to them, then your success will suffer. That's reality. So that's what I got for you, man. I know it's a difficult situation, but you're a grown man. I think you need to present yourself as a grown man to him. It sounds like you do most of the time anyway. And have him off site and have a meeting and say, hey, this matters to me, man. And, you know, if you don't do that, that's your choice. But I'm just letting you know, like, I'm going to go do these things. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? And, yeah, I mean, it's a hard situation. What do you think, dude?
Yeah, no, I mean, 100%. I think the most important piece on that is just being prepared if he doesn't choose to do anything about it. You know, like, dude, I look back on my life. I had my first apartment at 17. I had no choice.
Yeah.
Because I went through the whole thing like, oh, I'm going to stay home with mom while you got to pay rent. Well, I'm out here trying to build a life. Like, and I got to get, you know what I'm saying? Well, I might as well just get my own shit then.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I had to prepare myself for that. And it is a tough thing, man. But like you said, Andy, bro, like, Rubio, you have a life. You got to start running. And ultimately, nobody else is responsible for that but you.
Yeah.
You know, so as tough as those decisions might be or conversations might be to have, somebody's got to have them.
You know, I think a lot of people have frustrations that other people, like, it's a very weird dynamic when you're trying to, like, develop your own path in life.
Mm-hmm.
You know, if you're ambitious and you want to create something and you want to build something and become something, that's rare. Most people don't. Most people, I would say 97% of humanity just wants to breathe air and exist and have the least amount of discomfort possible. They don't care if they get anything else. And the 3% that do, and I'm making these numbers up, but that's just my estimation, those people, you know, they're never going to fit in, man. They're never going to fit in with people who don't have that drive. Those people are never going to understand you. They're never going to relate to you. They're never going to support you the way that you want because they don't get it. And we have all these young people who try to curtail their existence to get the approval of these other people that aren't on the same path, not realizing that if you are that close to them where they understand you, then you are that much further from where you actually want to be. So they shouldn't understand you. They shouldn't get you. They shouldn't be able to comprehend what it is you're trying to do. And if they can, then that either means they came with you or you've put enough distance between yourself and their ability to comprehend that you were on the right path, you know, and it's a different language. It's a different life. It's a different species. And when we try to mold ourselves into people that will be understood by people who have no ambition, no drive, no future, we're just taking away from our own success and our own dreams and our own reality. And we do that a lot because we think like, well, I'm related to them, or they're my mom, or they're my dad, or they're my cousin, or they're my this or that or this. But dude, at the end of the day, it's not like they couldn't go with you if they wanted to. You can't force them. They have to want it. And a lot of people will get judged. They'll say, "Oh, you forgot where you came from," or, you know, you're not humble anymore, or, you know, you need to remember, you know, who you are and all this shit. And they'll say all this shit, and like you can look at them and be like, "Well, fuck, dude, I didn't remember not inviting you to come with me. You chose to stay there," you know. So that's the reality, man. And the good news is if you do have to make those severances in your life, they will be replaced later on by people who support what you're trying to do. And I can tell you this, the more successful you get, the better your circle gets. People think that's rude. It's reality, dude. Successful people aren't doing up shit usually, okay? They're not out getting up till 4 a.m, driving their car 7,000 miles an hour. They're not going to the bars all the time. They're not doing destructive things. And reality is most of the bad things that happen in people's lives come from hanging out with people who do those things. So, you know, you start surrounding yourself with people who have goals, ambitions, dreams, desires, the hunger to build. These people contribute, man. They help you. Every phone call you take is encouraging. Every conversation you have is about building. And when you get to that point, man, it's like hard not to win, because everybody expects you to win, and then they're also pushing you to win, and they're also competing with you to win. So you don't want to lose to them. You know, it's just a different dynamic, dude.
Yeah.
And
you forget about all the other bullshit.
Nah, bro.
Yeah.
Listen, dude. Andrew Tate said this thing, and I know people have mixed opinions of, but I saw this clip of him, and he said, and it was dead on true. He said, every single time I've ever got in trouble, it was because I was hanging around poor people. And it was true. It's true. The shit that they with is not the same shit that ambitious, driven, hungry people with. It's truth.
Completely different risk.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's real, bro.
So
That's real.
anyway, what do you think, dude?
I appreciate the words. I appreciate the advice. I'll definitely take it and try to sit down and have that conversation with him. But I mean, I've tried to accept, like you said, the things that you told me that might happen, might not happen. I've tried to always keep myself in that mindset, trying to just not expecting a whole lot, and just trying to put in more work than I'm getting out. But I'm a strong believer in, you know, you get what you put in. So
That's right.
I mean, at the end of the day, I've kind of understood that. I mean, he didn't just wake up and become 320 pounds.
Right. Well, I mean, there's lots of reasons why he could be like that. I mean, look, dude, we can all find reasons as to why our life is the way it is. But at the end of the day, here's the reason. He didn't move enough. He ate the wrong shit. He drank the wrong shit. And that, you know, that's it.
That's pretty much
It's
it.
very simple. So, you know, that's his decision, man. And a lot of people, you know, like you say, he's inspired by me. Well, fuck, I must not be doing a very good job. But no, I'm being serious.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, you shouldn't be able to justify 5'7", 320 pounds.
Yeah.
Like, you shouldn't be. That's not acceptable. So I empathize with Rubio here, but you know, you got to be prepared.
It's real, man. That's real. Rubio, we appreciate the time, bro.
I appreciate yours as well.
All right, man.
All right, take care, bro.
Thank you, guys.
Yeah, dude, that's a tough spot to be in, bro.
There's a lot there.
Yeah, there's a lot. But I think the other good part is, though, just as easy as I guess it was to get in that position, you can also get out of it by moving, putting the right shit in. You know what I'm saying? Like,
you know, look, man, the family thing is hard, okay? Because it's all you ever know. And then you decide what it is you want. It's so weird. Because you get encouraged when you're a kid. Hey, you know, you could be anything you want.
By those same people.
By the same people, dude.
Bro.
And then you go through school, and as you get older, the conversation switches from you could be anything to, okay, now we got to get realistic about what you want to be. And it's like, bro, were you bullshitting me back then? Or are you bullshitting me now? What is it? And then the conversation changes if you continue on that path that you always believed that you wanted to be more. The conversation from the same exact people that were telling you could be anything is that you can't be that.
You're right.
And it's like, it's this hard thing to deal with when it comes from people that you've always looked at to be your source of guidance. And unfortunately, people have a really hard time with their own egos when their children's goals are bigger than theirs. And the truth of the matter is that's the point. Like if you're a parent out there and you're like somewhat jealous of what your kid's doing versus what you did, you need to check your self, bro, because that's the point. The point is they're supposed to do better. The point is you're supposed to put them in a position to do better. And just because they start doing better doesn't mean that they owe you money. That's what you're supposed to do as a parent. It's no different than someone who comes into my office and says, I show up on time. Yeah, no shit. I work hard. Yeah, no shit. So, it's a frustrating thing. And a lot of people struggle with it mentally, bro, because the emotional bonds that have been created over that time, right?
Well, I think what it is, bro, is the parents realizing that they didn't like.
Yeah, they f*** up.
It's them coming to the reality. Like I did not prepare them to be that president or a future doctor. I fell short. So now I got to try to reel them back in and fuck up their confidence before I send them out into this real world that I didn't prepare them for.
You think that's what it is? I think a lot of parents don't care. And I think a lot of parents are jealous. I think a lot of parents are jealous. They think that success is what they've done. You know what I'm saying? And they can't fathom a success for their own child that is outside the realm of that. They have a very hard time with it.
That's some up shit, man.
It's the truth.
Yeah.
It's the truth. Think of it. You live your whole life. You become a mechanic, which is a great thing, by the way. Okay. Let's just say you become a mechanic. But then your kid grows up, and not only do they become a mechanic, they end up creating their own car and starting their own car company and making $1 trillion doing it. Now, all of a sudden, that person who was just a mechanic starts feeling like, well, this isn't good enough for you. My life's not good enough for you. Right. It's like an ego thing, And so when kids start to outperform their parents, not good parents, but shitty parents, start to try to hold them back. Yep. And that's why I tell all these youngsters, I'm like, bro, sometimes you got to cut these out. You got to ask yourself, what do you want? Do you want a relationship with a toxic parent or a toxic family, or do you want to win? Yeah.
It's a very simple choice to have, man. I love it, man. Well, let's keep
I think the mistake, bro, that a lot of people make is underestimating what it takes to win. They don't understand. They don't understand that at least for an amount of time, it takes everything. You know what I'm saying? Like everything. You cannot afford to have negativity. You cannot afford to have people in your life, no matter who they are, no matter what their last name is, telling you that you can't or you shouldn't or you won't. People got to be behind you, or you got to be alone. And that's it. Yeah. It's too hard, bro. It's too hard. Winning is not normal. It's not this normal thing. It's extraordinary. It's out of the ordinary. It's exceptional. And there's been this like watering down of what it actually takes to win by culture and society. And, with this balance shit and all this, you can't do it all, man. You can't do it all. If you're going to have this overly balanced day-to-day life, the amount of money you earn is probably going to be a lot less. And that's okay. But you need to understand that.
You got to be okay with it.
That's right.
Yeah.
It's just a balance, bro. And, people will judge you for it. They'll if you don't make enough money, they'll say you're a broke loser. If you make too much money, they'll say all you care about is money. You know what I'm saying? Like,
right.
They're going to
you're a bad parent, or a bad spouse,
or bro, they'll say to because I don't have kids. They'll say, well, he doesn't have any kids, so he's totally unhappy. Like, you don't know what I like.
Right.
You don't know that you know what I'm saying? Like everybody's poking a hole into everything that everybody else has or does. And you've got to have earmuffs in and just not care.
They're going to poke holes regardless.
Huh?
They're going to poke holes regardless.
Yeah. Dude, no matter what.
Don't matter.
You know?
I love it.
You could walk on water, bro, and you could cure cancer. You could do all this shit. There's still going to be that don't like you. They're going to say, oh, yeah, well, he walked on water, but he didn't fly.
Yeah, right.
You know?
right.
Yeah, he cured cancer, but it took long enough.
Yeah, right.
You know, it's just like, it's just loser shit, bro. Here's the truth. Most people are losers. I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah. I love it, man. I love it. Let's get another question rolling, man. We got, let's get Chadrick. Let's give him a call, shall we? Chadrick.
Hello?
Oh, is this Chadrick?
Yes, sir.
What's going on, man?
What up, Andy?
No,
DJ,
no.
my fault.
Wrong black guy. Yeah, no, this is DJ.
My fault, guys. My fault.
What's up, brother? How are you?
Hey, Andy, I'm doing good, man. How about you?
Good. Where are you calling from?
I am calling from Chevyville, Tennessee.
Chevyville. All right. Where's
Hey,
that at?
I've never heard of it. There's so many places I haven't heard of.
Yeah, where's Chevyville?
Hey, I'm not gonna lie to you. We have like a population of like I don't even know, but we're like a small town. We're down south of Nashville. We're like an hour and maybe 30 minutes away from them.
All right.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, it's called Bedford County. So if
Bedford
y'all ever
County,
wanna look
okay.
it up, we actually have one of the largest bars in the whole world, Uncle Nearest.
What's it called?
Uncle Nearest.
Oh, like the whiskey?
Yeah, we have. It's in my town.
Oh.
It's on the outskirts of it. Yeah, it's like really closer to. It's like in between Murfreesboro and Chevyville, but it's like one of the biggest bars in the whole world.
Uncle what?
Yeah.
Uncle Nearest. Yeah, it's
Nearest.
a whiskey.
Uncle Nearest.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Huh.
That's sick.
It's pretty cool,
All right. Well,
guys. I'm really excited. I'm really nervous at the same time. So.
brother, we're just some normal dudes, bro. You don't have to be nervous. We're here to help.
I know that.
Yeah. So what's up? What you got going on?
All right, man. I'll give you a little history of my life. So, whenever I'll take it way back so you can understand my perspective and what I'm trying to do. So, whenever I was 12 to 13, my dad passed away. I thought football, I thought sports, I thought all that was going to get me somewhere. It didn't, because my coach took all the film whenever he moved from one high school to the other, and he was just worried about, doing whatever he was doing. So, set off into the world and, did everything I needed to do. Right now in this situation, in this current, my current life right now, I am 29 years old. About 2 years ago, I lost my mom to cancer, my brother to a wreck. Now, in my whole life, all I have is my sister. That's it, just my sister. So I was thinking to myself, I don't have too many people now because, my life has been like it has. And I was, I'm making a brand and a product for myself as well right now. And, it's like a hydration pouch.
Mm-hmm.
So I am trying to not act like I don't want to ask for somebody's help because I've always been the person to do it myself and to pursue something myself, because I don't know, asking for help kind of makes me feel like I'm kind of like, making myself weaker, and the grind is not as hard as, what I'm trying to search for, if that makes sense. So, I mean, it's kind of hard, especially whenever you don't, I'm doing it myself. So I'm trying to get somebody else's perspective of they've already been there, because I don't have people like that in my town that will tell me what I need to hear and how it needs to be.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So
Go ahead.
That's why I'm reaching out, because like I said, I've contacted multiple people, and I don't hear nothing back, and I'm just like, okay, so should I don't know where else to go. So I did submit my question, and I just wanted to, do you want to, I'll give you the question if you want me to.
Yeah, that's what I'm here for, brother.
All right. All right. It says, I've always prided myself on figuring things out on my own, but I know there's value in learning from people who've already done what I'm working towards. The challenge for me is this: how do you ask for help without feeling like you're giving up the edge that comes from grinding it out yourself? Part of me feels like asking makes me weaker, but another part of me knows it could make me sharper. I'd really appreciate your perspective on that.
Okay. First of all, man, I'm sorry to hear about your family. That's very tough. Very, very tough.
Yeah.
Here's what I want you to hear. All right. You do not need anybody else's validation or permission to start this business and go do what it is that you see in your mind. Okay. If you have a vision for what you're trying to accomplish, it is very important that you dedicate yourself to that vision. Now, when we are just starting out, and it doesn't matter if you're 18 or 30 or 50, we have this thing as humans because we don't know what we don't know. And when we've never been successful at anything, we imagine that there's boundaries that exist that do not exist. For me, when I was young, I used to think like this. My internal dialogue would be, man, I hope one day I'm one of these people that gets chosen to be successful. I hope one day I'm one of these people that gets lucky enough to be successful. I hope one day, and I would see it as like this thing that I called the success fairy. And when I visualized it in my head, it was like, imagine a group of people, and then like this fairy flies down and taps certain people on the head, and those people somehow get the path to success and end up making it. And it's not true. It's complete bullshit. And we believe that because we have never been successful and we've never been in the proximity of people who are very successful. The best gift that any of you who are listening to this show can give yourself is to be in the proximity of someone who has built something massive so you can see how normal and how much in common you actually have with those people. Because we, at the beginning, sort of idolize these people or build them up or imagine that they have these superpowers, and dude, they don't. Okay? And I know it feels that way when you're just starting. So you need to clear out this belief system that you have that there's some sort of gatekeeping or, there's some sort of rule or club or code or committee that is going to invite you to be successful. They're not going to. No one's coming to Chevyville, Tennessee to find you and say, guess what? You get to be successful.
Yep.
You have to understand this, dude, because this idea that's based in our identity that we grew up around has to be broken before we can actually be successful. We have to break out of that thinking. When you've grown up a certain way, in a certain style, in a certain household, with a certain income, with a certain mentality, that means that's going to be your identity, bro. And as you grow, that identity is going to have to give way to a new identity that is in line with who you're trying to become before you actually become it. So I challenge you, brother, to start thinking of yourself already as a successful man, as a strong man, as someone who can create anything and make anything happen, because you can. I'm just telling you, bro, you can. There's nothing out here above you that's ever going to stop you from doing that outside of the actions that you take. even if you start to build this hydration pouch and you get up against Andy Frisella, who owns First Form, and they've got unlimited access to marketing funds and this and that and this. And I say, okay, I'm going to hammer this guy with, like, dude, there's still a way to get around that and beat those people. So,
Yes, sir.
yeah, bro, there's no limits, dude. And my thing hearing you talk is what I could tell is that you're still stuck in that identity of where you came from. And you need to break into this new identity, brother. And that new identity is going to be you being the best version of yourself, the most fit that you can, the smartest that you can be, the most effective that you can be, the kindest that you can be, the most savage that you can be. All right. And you have to become the product before the product can help you build the life. And, you have it, dude. You have it. You've just got to, you've got to understand. It makes sense for you not to understand what it's like because you've never lived it. It makes sense for you to not understand that you can do these things because how many people have you met in real life that are just like you that have done these things? It's not very common. And that's the gift of the internet. We were talking in the beginning of the show about how the internet can be damaging to people because it makes them feel demoralized. We see these 25-year-old kids scamming people and driving Lamborghinis and shit.
All the time.
But also, bro, if you pick the right people to look at, you can learn tremendous amounts of information. You keep your head down, you build shit, and eventually all the things you want will come your way. And the internet provides a tremendous value to young men like you because you can find those people, dude. Yes, you're going to have to filter through the idiots. Yes, you're going to have to recognize that there's a lot of bullshit out there. But there are people who have built real products, real businesses, who do real things that can help keep you on track. And obviously you listen to the show, and I'm one of them.
Yes.
So
you're like my top one.
Well, brother, I appreciate that, but I just try to keep it real with you guys because, for me, man, this is more than just about me. This is about our next generation of entrepreneurs understanding that they have to not only be successful, but you, when you are successful, have to take on my role with your team. You have to become their coach. You have to become their brother. You have to become their dad. You have to become their advisor. You have to help them personally develop. And to your point about,
thing you're doing.
Yeah, bro, you have to. You have to do it for your company. And to your point about the pridefulness that you have about asking for help, let me make you understand something. I had a lot of people that helped me, bro. Okay? When you hear my story and you hear all these people's story and they say, oh, I grinded it out by myself and nobody ever bullshit. Okay? One of the reasons that I give back so much is because I was fortunate enough to have people in my life that took an interest in my development and helped me. They told me the things that I needed to hear. They told me the truth. In fact, if you listen to the last CTI, my Uncle John, who just passed away, was one of my biggest mentors in that realm of existence. If I did something stupid, he said I was stupid. If I was giving up on myself, he said, dude, what are you doing? You could do this and this and this. And I want you to understand, dude, the weakness is you refusing to ask for help. That's the weakness. That's your ego. That's your hubris. That's your pride. These are things that will kill you in success. Success is a team effort, bro. You cannot do it on your own. Nobody that you've seen build anything that look, I've got my brother who's genius. I've got Jason, genius. I've got Chris, genius. I've got a team out here that is all made up of young, smart, hungry people that give a fuck. Bro, I'm surrounded by greatness. Okay? It's not just me. All right? And you have to understand, like if I had gone through life thinking, dude, I don't need their help. I don't need this. I can't ask for this, or I'm a pussy. Bro, I wouldn't have that. I wouldn't have any of that. And
yes, sir.
My friends that I hang around, bro, these are successful people. The people I spend my time with on the phone, they're successful entrepreneurs. We collaborate. We work together. We don't gatekeep. We realize, because this is what true champions realize. True champions want their competitors to be better because they understand that if that competitor gets better, that they will rise to the occasion and become better themselves. And surrounding yourself with the best people possible, whether they work for you, whether they're an acquaintance or a friend, or even in the beginning, sometimes you gotta, pay for access to people like that with the right people, not the wrong ones. And once you start to develop that, dude, you start to realize, and the picture becomes very clear, that you're not the only one, bro. I'm sure you feel that way because you're in a small town in the middle of Tennessee and people are kind of going about their way of life, which is great, dude. There's lots of times where I'm like, fuck, I wish I just lived in a small town and sat on my porch and smoked cones all day. Like, that'd be great. But, I would be bored with that in about 5 seconds. So,
Exactly.
Listen, brother.
I do have something to say, though.
Yeah.
Can I?
Yes, sir.
So, I have been grinding. I wouldn't say busy, but productive.
Yeah.
I like productive over busy any day.
Mm-hmm.
So, I have actually continued with this product, and now the reason why I'm asking, or why I asked that question, is because now I'm at the final stages of it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm at the final stages of putting it out there. Get like having it in my hand, my logo, my can, everything.
Mm-hmm.
I've already got my samples. I paid for that. I've already did everything I need to do
Mm-hmm.
with this hydration pouch.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't mean no pouches that you put in your water. I'm talking like a dip pouch.
Yeah, like a Zen, like a. Yeah, I get it.
A Zen.
Yeah.
A Zen. Like a Zen.
Like, what do they call what are those pouches that you do?
I usually call them tampons. Oh, I don't do those. No, I'm just
Of course.
The dip pouches.
yeah, the dip pouches.
What are
yeah,
they called?
Yeah,
But
like
it's
Zen.
it's like a
Zen's
Zen
one.
pouch.
Yeah, Zen
I
is
made
it.
Yeah, I made up my own formula. I made up my own logo. I made up my own name. And, I base it off of you, man. Your perspective of everything, I come from you. You motivated me. Now it's just stuck because I'm in a place to where, well, they need this much, but I have all these stores that want it.
All right, bro. Well,
what they want for it is what's got me stuck.
What's
If
that?
that makes sense.
What, they want it cheap?
And not cheap, but to get the product with my logo and my everything on it the way I want it, with everything to be in my perspective, they want so much for it, and they will give me so many cans for it.
Oh, you're lacking seed capital is what you're saying.
Exactly, because I don't have, like I said, I don't really have people to ask, because I've done everything my own. I've already, like I said, I already have samples. I already tried flavors. I paid for that myself. I work a full-time job at O'Reilly's, which is not good because I know I can be better than that.
Brother,
I'll do that.
brother,
And I work at a liquor store too. So,
brother,
and I've been there for 5 years.
Just so you know,
that.
Just so you know, I worked multiple jobs the first 8 years Yes.
You inspired me to do that.
Yes.
I just didn't know. Well, I don't know. It was just, I just knew you did that because I hear it, every day.
Well, here's your options. Let me give you the options. One, you go out and find an investor and you sell him you get him to become a partner. He has to put cash in, you run the business. Okay. Two, you can actually go to take one of these stores, get a small amount of product made, and start one at a time, bro, keeping your books completely clean. That's what we did, all right? And yes, it took us a little bit longer, but now we own everything, so we've got a debt-free company that, makes it extremely, extremely valuable. you could find that same investor and get them to give you a loan. But at the end of the day, bro, let's say you don't get any help at all. You know, you're going to have to let's just say hardest possible route. Hardest possible route is going to be you working your jobs, saving your money to the point where you can order the product in enough quantity to sell it at one store. Okay. And then you're just going to have to roll that out and roll that out and roll that out and be very disciplined. That's how we built our business. That's how everything that you see that I've done, that we've done, that we did it that way. It just takes longer. But with social media, with everything that's going on, it can go a lot faster for you than it could for us. The next best way, and by the way, the hardest way is usually the best way. The reason that that's the best way is because once you go out and make this start to happen, you're going to own the entire company. Now, with that being said, the next best way would be for you to get someone to loan you the money that you pay back. But I would caution against that for where you're at right now, because your concept, as much as you believe in it, has yet to be proven. And here's the problem with taking money too fast. If you take money too fast, you end up losing it. You end up in a debt that you have no way to get out of. And that becomes a major problem. We see this a lot with small businesses because a lot of these knuckleheads on the internet tell people to go get debt right away, go get a loan right away, get an investor right away, when they don't understand the fundamentals of actually running the business. And what these people typically do almost every single time is they think they can hit a home run. And we see this mentality even as high as Super Bowl commercials. Every year, we see Super Bowl commercials for companies that spend $8 million for a 30-second spot, and then we never hear from them again. And the reason that happens is because people think that they can capture customers in these gigantic groups without brand recognition, which you cannot do, because all that ad spend that you spend on that Super Bowl, that's only one impression to people. So if they're unfamiliar with your brand, it's not enough for them to make a purchase. So I need you to remember you are a small business with limited resources, which means you are going to have to obey the rule of one customer at a time. And one customer at a time is the only way that I know how to grow a business. It's the truth. What happens when these small guys get money is they will say, okay, let's just say for simplicity, you get $100,000 loan. They'll take $80,000 of the loan and they'll put it towards marketing. But yet they don't know how to service the customer. They don't have the systems in place for fulfillment. They don't have the systems in place for reordering. And here's what happens. Customers order the product. They don't get the right service. It takes a long time. There's things that happen along the experience that make the person say to everybody else, hey, I tried that product and the company sucks. Everybody makes this mistake. I would say 97% of small entrepreneurs make this mistake.
Yes, sir.
You have to be ready to do the proper ad spend, which means, and I want you to think about it like this, okay? Think about a bucket. Visualize yourself having a bucket, and in the bucket, the bottom of the bucket, there's a whole bunch of holes, okay? And the bucket represents your company. You go out and you spend money to acquire a bunch of customers. Those customers come, they look at your brand, they go in your bucket, they buy the product, but then they fall out the bottom, okay? And the reason they fall out the bottom was because of what I just said. They got bad service, bad fulfillment. They didn't get an answer back. It took too long. A million other things, okay? And the experience wasn't good. And it takes time for an entrepreneur to make that experience where it needs to be so that the holes in the bucket get stopped. And that way, when you have the customers going in, then you have repeat customers over and over and over again. And now you have customers advocating for you, telling people how awesome your brand is. And that's where the scaling can start to happen. So until you're to that point where you can accumulate customers without them falling out of the bucket, if you go spend money, all you're doing is paying for people to notice how shitty your business is and then going and telling everybody about it. So it's the exact opposite of what you're trying to create. And everybody does it, bro, because they want to hit that home run. They want to hit that grand slam. They want to be the 25-year-old with the Lamborghini. Like, it just doesn't work that way, bro. So my advice to you would be to start small, to be smart, to work and use your own capital to get a small amount of product that you then test your ads and your marketing. And by the way, you need to be on the street in front of a table saying, hey, nice to meet you. This is what this does. Like, you're going to have to become the best salesman that you can. And the best salesman really comes down to you having the right intent. I want to help you with this problem. Let me solve this problem for you. Here's how we solve this problem. And then you educate them on it. They go out and verify that what you told them was the truth. They have an experience that aligns with the message that you gave them. They validate that you're telling them the truth, and then they start to trust you. And as you build that trust with customers over the course of time, they actually become loyal. And that's where you start to scale out your company organically. And when you get to that point, when you throw paid behind it, now you have something that's really going to go. Does that make sense?
Yes, sir. It does.
Okay. So, listen, man, I know, like, I spent a lot of time being very upset about not having a lot of capital when I started, but where I'm at now, if I had a lot of capital when I started, I wouldn't be who I am now. That's the facts. So, and remember, dude, at 29 years old, I had to move in. I had to move back in with my dad at 27. So, like, I was broke as fuck. First Form didn't even exist. So you're not in a bad spot, brother, at all.
Love
Yes,
it.
sir.
Love it.
See, at the end, where the liquor store or whatever, he told me I can set up a venue type deal with a table, and if I have samples, I can go in there and I can sample it out to the customers that come in as well. So
Yeah.
he's giving me opportunity to advertise it in any way, shape, or form, and he even wants to sell it in the store as well. And I've actually went out, like I said, while I was working at O'Reilly's, which I still am, but I delivery drive. I would go, if I went to a store, I would talk to them about it, and they would be like, hey, I want to help you as much as possible. Like, I want to, whenever you get it, you come to me, and I will do everything I need to do. So I can say I'm pretty well with talking to people.
Good.
Because I have been into customer service all my life.
Good. Tremendous skill to have,
All my
brother,
life.
especially when you're going to be an entrepreneur.
Yes, I just like you say, I try to talk to 5 random people every day, random, just to talk to them, just to see what they got to say.
And what's it do for your skill set, brother?
Man,
Yeah.
it makes me have more of a clearer version of who I am as a person, because that person could be going through something.
That's right.
And then you know what to say.
That's right.
And then you help them in their life, as well as, oh, well, I didn't see in that perspective. There was that time and there was that moment. I just helped somebody else out with their life.
That's right, dude. And honestly, that's the most important thing we've talked about the entire time. So,
Yep.
You got it, dude.
So that's y'all helped me out tremendously.
you've heard of Bass Pro Shops, right?
Yes, sir.
Do you know where they started?
I do not.
Yeah, they started in the back of a liquor store.
Really?
Mm-hmm. One of the greatest companies that exists in the United States of America was started in the back of a liquor store selling fly fishing lures that he made by hand. Johnny Morris.
Damn.
It's one of the greatest entrepreneur stories that's ever existed in this country. And I would encourage you, to go learn everything you can about that man and every other man that's done something like that. Sam Walton, all of these people, bro, they started with nothing. Okay. And those are much more valuable people to learn from than the idiot on the internet who's driving around in a Huracan talking about buying their Chat GPT prompts.
Yeah.
You notice how these are now selling their prompts?
Yeah.
They're like, oh, here's my prompt to do this. It's like, they're not even selling knowledge anymore.
It's stupid.
Same dudes that sold NFT and
Yeah, right. It's different.
crypto rug pulls, and now it's
bad.
buy my Chat GPT. Comment chat, and I'll send you my Chat GPT. How about you just ask the Chat GPT?
It's stupid.
Hey, chat, what would the proper prompt be for this? It'll give it to you. Anyway,
Yeah.
I'm getting pissed off now. But it's neither here nor there. All right? Go study Johnny Morris, bro. It'll inspire you.
Yes, sir. Hey, I'm not gonna lie. I know this might sound. Hey, I would love to keep in touch with you.
Yeah?
Honestly, for like a mentorship.
What do you look
somebody
like?
To, huh?
Are you cute?
I mean,
Hey,
if you,
brother, I don't
might
do
have had a joke.
I don't do direct mentorship. I honestly can't afford to do it. I do the Arte Syndicate, which is a few $100 a month. But the truth of the matter is, bro, all the basics that you need, I've covered already. So if you haven't gone back and listened to the original MFCEO project, I would go listen to that because that will help you get the basics down and really the non-basics as well about how to build a company. So if you haven't gone back and started episode 1, I mean, they're rough, dude, because like I was, like anybody, just like I said, when you start your business, you're not going to be great at it. I wasn't great at it, but the points are made well. So
Yes, sir.
I would start there. I could easily tell you, hey, give me $300 a month. You could join. No, dude, you don't need to do that yet. You don't need to do it yet. So I'm happy to mentor you from afar. I will keep you in my mind when I talk about things and make content. You're the exact person that I care about succeeding. And, that's where I'm at right now, brother.
Yes, sir.
So
I'll keep an eye out
Just
for
know
you.
I appreciate all y'all.
yeah, DJ will give me your Instagram, bro. I'll give you a follow and we'll, I'll keep an eye on you.
Big bet. Just let me know, DJ, and I'll send you my Instagram over.
I already got it.
Oh, well. Never mind.
No, I got you, dog. I got you.
All right, brother. Well, listen, go do it, man. Don't sit there and think about it. Go do it.
Yes, sir. I really
I want
appreciate y'all.
I want you to be a problem for me one day.
Yeah.
You know-
It's a supplement, so be ready.
That's what I'm saying. I'm good with that. I'm good with that. I'm good with that. Just makes me better.
Hey, whenever I get there, hey, let's talk. Hey, I don't mind getting the first form line out.
All right.
Let's go.
Deal, bro.
All right, Chad, bro. We appreciate you, man.
Yes, sir. Thank y'all. Appreciate y'all. Y'all have a good rest of the day.
Thank you
bro.
too, brother. That's cool.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, I love that.
Cool dude, bro.
Bro, I love people that I just love people that think bigger, man, and they're like, fuck, I'm gonna do this.
They want bigger.
Yeah.
Want
like
bigger.
here's this guy from the middle of Tennessee who's like, dude, I want to do this because you inspired me.
Mm-hmm.
And he's gonna go out and build something. I guarantee you he does it.
I can't
Yeah.
wait to see it.
He just, it's cool, man.
Yeah, it is, man. All right, guys, we got one final one for you. This is a write-in. Hello, Andy.
Hello.
Hello. Andy, I respect your opinion. So I'm going to ask this question in the hopes that you answer it in some way that makes sense to me. It's a lot of pressure.
No, I was wondering if you were going to ask me a question or ask it.
Damn it. I told myself I was going to change it for inquire now on.
Okay.
Messed
Anyway,
up.
let's
Andy,
hear it.
Andy, I'm probably not your typical person. I'm a 56-year-old fitness guy that sold a business but not looking to get back into business, but do something different to help the younger generation. I can't think this is the end. I need more legacy. My goal was to work for the up and coming clubs to help their younger people better, crunch fitness-ish. However, when I apply, they basically say, you're not the right fit.
Yeah.
I've been successful pretty much my entire career. I feel like I've missed something recently. Please tell me what my gut is already telling me.
You need purpose. That's what you need. Okay. We have to have, as men, especially, and women, by the way, but men especially being the traditional provider, which I believe they should be.
Mm-hmm.
We have to understand that we have to have 3 elements in our life to have what we would consider a good life, a happy life, a life that allows us to some semblance of internal peace. We require 3 things. The first thing is discipline. If you're not in control of what it is that you can control, you can't do shit. You're not going to be shit. You're going to feel like shit. You're going to have anxiety. You're going to be frustrated. You're going to be angry. You're going to go through life feeling powerless. You're going to have low confidence. You're going to have low self-esteem. And to be completely honest, it's going to ruin your life. Okay? So if you don't have discipline and you haven't cultivated it in your life, expect a long or maybe shorter life of misery. That's the truth. Cultivating discipline inside yourself and becoming somebody who understands how to create momentum, how to make the decisions that you need to make, not the ones you want to make, and being able to control the things that we are in control of is the foundation of everything. Here's what we can control. We can control what we eat. We can control what we drink. We can control how we move. We can control the information we put in our head. We can control the things that we deem worthy to go after. We can control our network, our community, our circle of people that we surround ourselves with. Outside of that, there's not a whole lot that we can control. But the good news is that that's most of the shit that will actually dictate the outcome of our lives. So we got to have that discipline. The next thing we got to have is purpose. We have to have a purpose that's bigger than ourselves. It can't just be, I want to be jacked, ripped, and rich, and I want to, spend money. That's not a purpose, bro. That's not a purpose that will never, ever, ever, and never has fulfilled anybody. Okay, so the purpose has to be bigger. What is it that you love to do? And I already know because I come from the same industry. You love to see people change their lives. You love to see someone who's 100 pounds overweight lose all the weight, become a completely different person, take control of their lives, and go on to live an entirely different life because of the things that you either taught them or helped them realize. Okay? Your purpose right now, and by the way, a lot of entrepreneurs deal with this. Your purpose right now has been suspended because you sold your business and you got out of business. And that for the last probably, however many years was your purpose. And your ultimate purpose in business was to make people better. So, and the third thing you need is gratitude. You have to be able to look at where you are, even if you're on day one, even if you're miserable. You have to be able to back it out and say, actually, I'm very grateful for who I am, where I'm at. I'm healthy enough. I'm intelligent enough. I have the ability to work enough. God has put me in a tremendous place to build an incredible story. And you have to be grateful for where you're at. Even when I was totally broke and didn't have anything going for me and everybody was laughing at me, I still felt grateful, dude. I was still, at the end of the day, when I prayed, I was like, man, thank you. I wouldn't trade places with anybody. And that was it's still part of my prayer, dude. Like and I know this sounds crazy and probably egotistical. I don't know, but I wouldn't trade with anybody. I wouldn't trade my life for anybody else's life. It doesn't matter who they are. And I felt that way when I was broke. I felt that way when I was fat. I felt that way when I didn't, quote unquote, have shit going for me. It was just something that I was able to do. And back then I was grateful for the opportunity, even if I wasn't capitalizing on it. I was grateful for, the people around me. I was grateful for my friends, my family, my dogs, whatever I could find to be grateful for, because it puts you in the right vibrational energy state. So it sounds like you have the discipline, and I'm sure you have the gratitude, but what you're lacking right now is purpose, and you've got to figure out what that is. And I think you already know what that is. You love helping people get better. So how are you going to do that now versus how you did it before? And that doesn't necessarily look like something that you have to go get hired at a gym for. There's lots of ways to do this, man. You can volunteer. You could start your own boot camp for free. Like, there's all kinds of shit you could do, brother, that helps people. I mean, you could help people one-on-one, man. There's lots of different ways. And you're going to have to figure out that way that fulfills you. And if it's not that, then you're going to have to fill your life with a different purpose. One of my really good friends sold his business. And after he sold his business, his purpose became he wanted to take care of wildlife. So he opened up a wildlife reserve, and that's what he does. And that's his purpose. And while it's not the same thing as he did before, it's something that fulfills him. So he still practices discipline. He's still very grateful. He's not in business, but he's fulfilled by this other purpose. Yeah. And I would caution any entrepreneur that is exiting their business to never exit your business without an understanding of what you're going to do next. Because I have seen so many people work their whole lives, sell their business for so much money, and then be completely miserable. In fact, I've known a couple that have killed themselves because they've been so depressed. And they don't realize that it's not about the money, bro. It's about seeing the project through. It's about being grateful for where you are. And it's about fulfilling your purpose on a daily basis. And yes, when you don't have any money, it's about money. But if it always stays about money, you're always going to be broke emotionally. So, and fulfillment wise. So I would say, man, like, look, you got to do some deep digging here about what's going to fulfill you for the next part of your life. 57 years old is not that old anymore. There's all kinds of technology. There's all kinds of things coming out. One of my buddies, he said to me recently, he's battling cancer. He's doing really good, and I think he's going to make it. I thought he was going to die for sure, but he pulled through. And he said to me, he goes, bro, I'm like, man, you're doing good. He's like, yeah. He's like, I watch what Elon's doing. He's like, I know I got to only make it like 5 more years. I get to live forever.
That's right. That's right.
So,
we'll see the first person to live to 150 on a lifetime, bro.
I mean, maybe the second or third, considering some of these ghouls that are running the world.
That's
but,
real.
At the end of the day, man, we have to understand that purpose is what drives fulfillment. And without it, no matter how much money you make, you're not going to feel good. And I would argue on top of that people that make the most money have the strongest purpose that just aligns with something that can make money. Mm-hmm. Like people, when you ask people and you say, hey, what's the purpose of starting a business? Every single one of them will say, to make money. The purpose of a business is not to make money. The purpose of a business is to solve a problem at scale, which then people trade money for. It's a different perspective. And when you look at it like you're trying to solve the problem the best that you can, people recognize that and trade you their money for it. And the richest in the world understand that. They make the best products they can, and they understand that people will give them their money for it. And that's what they do. So the product has to benefit people. It has to be real. It can't be a pie in the sky, bullshit. You know what I mean? It's the people who are the best make the most money. And the reason is because the whole entire reason that business exists is to solve problems for the customers. So when you adjust your mindset around that, the money comes. But neither here nor there, you got to have a purpose no matter what, or you're going to be miserable. So, when I think of my life, my purpose is as big as it could possibly be, bro. I want to save the world. I want to change culture in a way to where these criminal tyrants can't ever f with people ever again, because everybody's fit, independently wealthy, strong, mentally stable, not easily manipulated. You know, when we have personal excellence at scale, it creates a population that cannot be controlled. And that's what I want to do at scale. That's a big mission. It's going to take my whole life, and I'll probably still lose, okay? But the bigger the mission, the bigger the purpose, the bigger the actions, the bigger the results, the bigger the payoff, the bigger the fulfillment. Like, it's got to be big, bro, at least for me.
Yeah.
So, yeah, man, I think everybody should have a purpose in their life that is not passive. Meaning, people will say, you know, I'm just going to say this, people are going to get upset about it, but it's the truth. We have this new revival of Christianity, okay, which I love. I'm happy for. I think it's great. But then we also have these people who are, you know, quitting their jobs, and they're saying, I live for the church, or I live for the Bible or the scripture. And it's like, bro, you're missing the point. You're given gifts. You were given talents. The Bible talks about it. And when you don't use them, it's a slap in the face to your Savior. Mm-hmm. So sitting and hiding behind God or Christianity or prayer or scripture and doing nothing with your life is cowardly and not respected by God. And it talks about that in the Bible. So, you know, we have to have a big vision. We have to take big action. We have to be big purpose, and the purpose needs to be active, something that we create, something that we do, something that we contribute to other people. And I don't know what that is for you, brother, but you got to figure it out. And if you don't figure it out, you're going to be miserable.
I love it, dude.
Yeah.
I love it, man. Guys,
that makes sense?
Yeah, absolutely, bro. Absolutely. You kind of covered. I was going to ask, though, but like, you know, what's the dangers? What's the risk of not having that purpose there? Like, you could be as disciplined as you want and practice your gratitude.
Yeah.
But
if you don't have a purpose bigger than yourself, what's the point?
Yeah. Yeah.
What's the point?
You drive yourself crazy.
What's the point? Bro, I've been ripped. I've been rich. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You think I really give a shit? I've lived that way for so long. I don't care. You know what I care about? My purpose. You know what I care about? Helping people get better. You know what I care about? Making people personally excellent so that these tyrants can't keep with everybody. That's what I care about. And that's an impossible mission to achieve. But the ideas and the business that will result from this, which you guys haven't even heard about yet. There's a reason I wasn't doing anything on the internet for 5 years, by the way. What I've created will solve that problem. And I believe it'll be the biggest product in the history of mankind. That's the truth.
Yeah.
But it comes out of passion and service. You see what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
So.
Absolutely, man. I love it. I love it, man. Well, guys, Andy, that was 3.
Yeah. All right, guys. Well, let's get after it this week, and we'll see you tomorrow on CTI. Don't be a hoe.
Shut the show.